It's an honor to be in front of you this evening. And when you think about our two countries, you think about the largest democracy in the world, and you also think about a democracy that I believe is the most modern democracy. We have opportunities to do things together that I think no two countries have ever really anticipated. We have an opportunity with technology transitions that are going on around the world, something called digitization, that Prime Minister Modi clearly understands, and is driving that through his entire country with a speed unequaled anywhere else in the world. And to put this in proper perspective, and then I'll bring it back from India to the US, and then say what we have a chance to do together. If you go back to the 1990s in the US, when the information age, the internet occurred, we, for 8 years, under President Clinton, grew our GDP by 18%, our real per capita income by 17%, and created 22.5 million jobs. And when a leader grasps what is possible and then becomes the champion of it and drives it through the country, it's amazing what can happen. The information age lasted from 1990 to 2010, in my opinion. And now think of it as an entirely next generation approach. A generation where you go from connecting 1,000 devices in 1984 to 15 billion to the internet today to 500 billion in 15 years. What that translates to is it will change every aspect of our lives. It will change healthcare and education. It will change which companies get ahead and which ones get left behind. It will transform government. It has many advantages, and I think it can result in the same income increase that we've seen before in the US, this time in India and the US if we do it right. It has a chance to do the same job creation opportunities, and it has a chance to perhaps bring two countries together in a way that we have not done in the past. Not with incremental improvement, but thinking what is really possible between the U.S. India business groups and the government groups on this transformation. It would be so easy to stand up here this evening and say, here's where we're going to go, and just think incrementally. But we know this new world is a world where 40% of the companies in this room won't exist in 10 years because we will fail to reinvent ourselves. It's a world that where if government leaders and business leaders come together, regardless of politics or political parties, to say, how can we transform two great nations? How can we transform business relationships, not talking about incremental trade or incremental investment, but transforming the lives of 1.3 billion people in India and over 300 million here in the US? I think the time has come where we dare to be aggressive. I think not just thinking about it as a country, but the power of two of the key democracies pulling together toward the same goal. We see this occurring in other parts of the world, in the United Kingdom with Cameron, Germany with Merkel, Renzi in Italy, Netanyahu in Israel, Hollande in France. We see it occurring in China. But no leader in the world understands this more than Prime Minister Modi on how it can change and completely transform a country to grow GDP by 1 to 3 points faster than it would before, increase job creation by 1 million a month in his country, and in my opinion, a job creation opportunity that is 2x what we're currently growing at in the US, the ability to encompass every single citizen within India through a broadband capability that is 5 times the capacity of what we see in the US at 1/5 the cost as he builds this out. It is a leader who truly understands what is possible. And so as we think about both today and tomorrow between our governments and our businesses, rather than think incrementally and think of the world it used to be, I think we can think about what dramatically we could do together. And when you hear Prime Minister Modi talk in a little while, you'll find he's a great communicator, but he's also a great listener. So my challenge is to the group, let's not just do things status quo. Let's say this could be an inflection point that's occurring everywhere else in the world, and rather than think about it by country or by company, let's think about what we could do together in a way that hasn't been done before. And that's really my challenge to you this evening. So once again, I want to thank you for joining us. And I'd also like to invite the Prime Minister on stage, please. Prime Minister Modi.